Okay, today is Sunday, August 23rd, 2015, and we're looking at the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. And today in Los Angeles we had very humid, muggy weather all day. We had chemtrails in the western skies, and that is because of this air mass that was moving through Los Angeles earlier today. This was a threat of bringing moisture into California, this moisture flow here, and so they were spraying the skies offshore and also over the land on the far western horizon. So we got to see that. So they were chemtrailing and laying out aerosols to dry out the atmosphere and to prevent any rain. So once again, we see an opportunity for rain, and that is being prevented. All right. Now look at all of this thunderstorm activity down here. This is going to probably spin back around. There's a high pressure right here that looks like it's starting to take form right here over just south of Texas and Mexico right here. And that will probably drive a lot of this back to the east. We'll keep an eye on this. There's a high pressure being installed here. Actually all across this whole area is high pressure. We've got something here, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here, but this may drift right over the area, and then they'll continue to keep it dry here for a couple of days. See, the forecast for the next 3 or 4 days is for triple-digit weather in the Southern California area. In the desert areas, very hot weather. All right. In the meantime, Hawaii is surrounded by a lot of big thunderstorms right here. We've got this tropical depression over here. I believe that's Kilo right there. And Kilo is packing 35-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving about 8 miles per hour to the west-northwest. And it's sort of moving away from Hawaii right now. But it is still being blown apart. We're seeing this storm here is still being targeted. And we can see a blast pattern down here. We have some high pressure here that's causing some clockwise movement. You see that happening, and we have this high pressure here installed, which is functioning to block all this moisture field right here. Some of it's going over the top and back down over the Aleutian Islands, and the other part of that flow is coming down here, moving down here, and creating some thunderstorm activity right here. This is the Hawaiian Islands right there, and there are some very intense thunderstorms right just north of Kauai, it looks like. Okay, and then we have something going on here, and then we have a little system here that's looking like it wants to spin counterclockwise, and that also is being hit with some heat. We can see evidence of that right here. And then we have a very thin, razor thin division set up here. This is an interesting feature because we've got this field, this moisture field, wrapping around this high and then coming right back down here. And look what's happening. It's mushrooming right into this this phased array radar blockade that's been set up. This is an electronic wall, and half of that is spinning clockwise here, and the other half is branching off and going to the east and moving into a moisture field that looks like it's spinning counterclockwise. At any rate, this is a radar. This is another technique that's used. This is a razor thin division line, and it's effective. You can see that nothing right here where the pen is. You would expect to see that flow continue down here, but that isn't happening because of this feature right here. This is a phased array radar, highly directional. It's just cutting like a knife, and anything that runs into that is affected. It cannot pass through that barrier that's been set up. That's an artificial man-made barrier right there. That's not Mother Nature doing that. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this view. There's just a lot of thunderstorm activity there around Hawaii. We can take a look at this in the, this is the rainbow loop, the infrared loop. We can see the intensity here. Here's the islands right here. And just a lot of thunderstorm going on right there, thunderstorm activity. Okay, so we've got this very broad area of high pressure here. That's keeping all this moisture to the south. The jet stream is favorable for bringing rain into California. Let's go take a look at that right now. This is the jet stream for 300 millibar. And we can see that the arrows are generally pointing to the north here. So anything down here that gets up into this current flow is going to go right into California. So now we understand why that big dry area has been installed down south of California and the west coast. Let's go look at that again. So we've got the current from the jet stream we were just looking at goes right into the west coast. That would bring a lot of rain, which we need. Whoops, let's get this camera pointed right. So this is what we're talking about here. This is dried out, and they're keeping this installed right here to prevent that flow from moving in, any of this moisture from getting into this area and then taking the current right up into the west coast. All right. So if we think of this strategy here of how we're predicting all of what's happening here based on keeping California dry, we can understand why and how things happen the way they do every single time, most of the time. All right. Here's a thunderstorm cell right here, very intense. I predict that this will be blown apart before tomorrow morning. We'll get to see the result of that in the morning. This area right here. This will bring a lot of rain into California. But this high pressure that's right here is not going to let that happen either. Okay. Let's go look at the infrared loop again. And it's a lot of intense rain right here. But none of that's going to be coming into California. They've got that high pressure pinned in place. Today it was very muggy. We had in Los Angeles extremely very muggy, humid weather. We had a dew point of 66 degrees. That was at about noontime today. 66 degrees. The humidity was 45%, and the temperature at that time, about noontime, was about 89 degrees. All right, so anybody outside doing any work, they were sweating bullets. Okay, and we had chemtrails out in the western skies to prevent any rain. There was some moisture coming in offshore, which was shown right here that some of that was going into Los Angeles today, this moisture field here, and they were chemtrailing all that. So again, we see the pattern. Doesn't vary very often, but the name of the game seems to be keep the rain out of California. All right, so here's all that intense thunderstorm activity. We'll probably see this get attacked with a transmitter before tomorrow morning. Keep an eye on that. All right, here is a close-up of the Central Pacific area. Here's the Hawaiian Islands right here, and we've got some pretty intense thunderstorms developing right over that island right there. That looks like Kauai right there. So keep an eye on that. Here's that tropical storm Kilo, or depression. I think it's a storm now, but 35 mile per hour winds, and it looks like they're hitting that with a transmitter. We see a blast pattern down here. Okay, and shock wave right up here. All right, let's go take a look at the this is the infrared loop. Okay. All right, so we'll just keep an eye on this region and report if there's anything new developing. There's not much to see here in the visible loop. Here's the pressure map for 300 millibar. Very powerful high here. This extends all the way to sea level, all the way up to the 300 millibar level. And that is the one that we were looking at. It's blocking all that moisture coming out of the this thing right here. This is that sea level to 300 millibar high that's shown on that map we were just looking at, and that's serving to block all of that moisture coming out of the Bering Sea area. Okay, let's go back again and look at that. So that's 30,000 feet right there, 300 millibar. Let's go ahead and look at the sea level right here. That's the same high pressure right there, basically. Same one. This comes all the way around here. This level of high pressure is consistent all the way over into California. Let's see here. Okay, let's go look at the, we've seen the jet stream. There is favorable conditions for bringing moisture on shore here. You see the arrows there. We've got, looks like high pressure right down here, but yet we've got all those thunderstorms here, so I'm not sure what the hell's going on. Just have to keep an eye on this. This is the 300 millibar jet stream map. Now let's go look at the, this is the National Hurricane Center map for the Eastern Pacific. We've got 3 disturbances noted here. This one here, 10% chance of cyclone or hurricane formation in 2 days. This one over here, due south of Los Angeles, 10% chance in 2 days. And this one here is 50% in 2 days. So we're going to keep an eye on all this. Let's go back and look at the this map once again, and we can see all this intense thunderstorm activity down here. Okay, now I keep hearing on the radio and on TV that we're going to have a very intense El Nino year. Very intense El Nino year. So we're gonna keep an eye on that that forecast, because last year they were saying the same thing. Right around this time last year in August, we were hearing about a strong El Nino, and here we are almost a year later, and we've barely had 10 3/4 inches of rain in the foothills, because all the storms that were coming out of the North Pacific were blocked. They had high pressure parked here basically the entire winter season. That's been documented. It's on YouTube. You can look it up. The HAARP report guy has it all on video, and there's other people that are doing this too. We got the fellow Dutch Sense doing the same thing. This is weather manipulation, and it needs to be exposed. And I'm trying to help expose it by doing daily videos and reporting the weather here in Los Angeles. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna sign off, and we'll do another one tomorrow. Okay.